Anybody wants to chant the Shanti mantras in Devanagiri? The Shanti mantra. You have the Shanti mantra?
No.
Oh, you want English, right?
Okay.
You want English?
No, I cannot.
Did English? You want to follow the English one? There are some English ones. There's some English ones. These are the Shanti mantras from the Shanti Yatra. There's the English one. Suresh?
Om Richam Vacham Prapade Manojaju Prapade Sama Pranam Prapade Chakshu Srotram Prapade Vagoja Sahojo Mayi Prana Pano Janme Chidram Chakshusho Hidayasya Manaso Vapitrinam Brihaspatiirme Tatdadatu Shanno Bhavatu Bhuvanasya Jaspatihi Bhurbhuvaswaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Jona Prachodayate Kayanaschitra Abhuvaduti Sada Vridaha Sakha Kaya Sachisthaya Vrita Kastva Satyo Madanam Agnhishto Matsadandasa Dridachidaruje Pasyo Avikhunah Sakhinam Avita Jaritrinam Satam Bhavasyutivihi Kaya Tvanna Utya Vipramanta Seprikhan Kaya Stotridhya Abhara Indro Vishwasya Rajati Shanno Astu Dipade Shanchatuspade Shanno Mitra Shammarudaha Shanno Bhavatajyama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Shanno Vatah Pavatagu Shannastapatu Surjaha Shanna Kanikradadevaha Parjanyo Avivarhatu Ahani Shambhavantuna Shaguratri Pratidhiyatam Shanna Indragni Bhavatam Avobhi Indra Varuna Ratahavya Shanna Indra Pukhana Vajasato Samindra Soma Suvitaya Sanjoho Shanno Devi Ravishtaya Apo Bhavantu Pitaye Sanjo Ravisravantunaha Shona Prithivino Bhavanukshara Niveshani Jachana Samma Sapradhaha Apo Histhamayo Bhuvastana Ujje Dadhatana Maheranaya Chakshase Yovah Shivatamo Rasastasya Bhajayate Hanaha Ushatiriva Mataraha Tasma Arangamamavo Jasya Kshayaya Jinvatha Apo Jana Yatha Janaha Devu Shantirantarikshagu Shanti Prithvi Shantirapah Shantiro Khadayah Shanti Panaspatayah Shantir Vishwe Devaha Shantir Brahma Shanti Sarvagun Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhi Drite Drigun Hama Mitrasya Ma Chakshusha Sarvani Bhutani Samikshantam Mitrasyaham Chakshusha Sarvani Bhutani Samikshe Mitrasya Chakshusha Samikshyamahe Drite Driguhama Jokte Sandrishi Jivyasam Jokte Sandrishi Jivyasam Namaste Harase Shochishe Namaste Astvarchishe अन्यास्ते अस्मत्तपन्तु हेतयः पावको अस्मभ्यगुं शिवो भव नमस्ते अस्तु विद्युते नमस्ते स्तनयित्नवे नमस्ते भगवन्नस्तु यतः स्वः समीहसे जतो जतः समीहसे ततो नो अभयं कुरु सन्नः कुरु प्रजाभ्यो भयन्नः पशुभ्यः सुमित्रियान् आप ओखदयः सन्तु दुर्मित्रियास्तस्मै सन्तु जोष्मान् व्यष्टिजञ्च भयं दिक्मः तच्चक्षुर्देवहितं पुरस्तात् शुक्रमुच्चरते पश्येम शरदः शतं जीवेम शरदः शतगुं शृणुयाम शरदः शतं प्रब्रवाम शरदः शतमदीनाः स्याम शरदः शतं भूयश्च शरदः शतात् हरिः ओम स्वस्ति न इंद्रो वृद्धस्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ओम पयः पृथिव्यां पय ओखधीषु पयो दिव्यन्तरिक्षे पयोधाः पयस्पतिः प्रदिशा सन्तु मह्यम् ओम विष्णोरराटमसि विष्णोः स्नोत्रेस्थो विष्णोः शिवरसि विष्णो ध्रुवोऽसि वैष्णवमसि विष्णवे त्वा ओम अग्निर्देवता वातो देवता सूर्यो देवता चंद्रमा देवता वसवो देवता रुद्रा देवता दित्या देवता मरुतो देवता विश्वे देवा देवता बृहस्पतिर्देवतेन्द्रो देवता वरुणो देवता ओम सद्यो जातं प्रपद्यामि सद्यो जाताय वै नमः भवे भवे नाति भवे भवस्समां भवाय नमः वामदेवाय नमो ज्येष्ठाय नमः श्रेष्ठाय नमो रुद्राय नमः कालाय नमः कलविकरणाय नमो बलविकरणाय नमो बलाय नमो बलप्रमदनाय नमः सर्वभूतदमनाय नमो मनोन्मनाय नमः अघोरेभ्योऽथ घोरेभ्यो घोरघोरतरेभ्यः सर्वेभ्यः सर्वसर्वेभ्यो नमस्ते अस्तु रुद्ररूपेभ्यः तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्रः प्रचोदयात् ईशानः सर्वविद्यानामीश्वरः सर्वभूतानां ब्रह्माधिपतिर्ब्रह्मणोऽधिपतिर्ब्रह्मा शिवो मे अस्तु सदा शिवो ओम शिवो नामासि सदितिस्ते पिता नमस्ते अस्तु मामाहि घोषिः निवर्तयाम्यायुखेन्नाद्याय प्रजननाय राय स्पोखाय सुप्रजास्त्वाय सुवीर्याय ओम विश्वानि देव सवितुर्धुरितानि पराशुव जद्भद्रं तन्न आशुव ओम द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षगो शान्तिः पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिरोषधयः शान्तिः वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्तिर्ब्रह्म शान्तिः सर्वगो शान्तिः शान्तिरेव शान्तिः सा मा शान्तिरेधि ओम सर्वे काम एकवेदानागुंरसो यत्साम सर्वे कामेवैनत वेदानागुंरसेना विषिञ्चति ओम शांति 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 सुशांतिर्भवतु।
There's one copy of what anybody wants to share with the chanting to it. So we start the 12th chapter.
अर्जुन उवाच अर्जुन उवाच एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्ता स्वं पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमः। श्री भगवानुवाच मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यमव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवं संयम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धयः ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषामव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहबद्धिरवाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। मय्येव मन आदत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवशिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः अत चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जयः अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि अथैतदपि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान् श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ज्ञानात् कर्मफलत्यागात् त्यागात् शान्ति निरन्तरम् अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चय मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यस्मान्नोद्विजते लोको लोकान्नोद्विजते यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भ परित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभ परित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्ण सुख दुःखेषु समः संग विवर्जितः तुल्य निन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेतः स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्धाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः ओम तत्सदिति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे भक्ति योगो नाम द्वादशोऽध्यायः। ओम विश्वं दर्पण दृश्यमान नगरी तुल्यं निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया य साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोध समये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयम् तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये। Thank you so much. In the meanwhile, I was fortunate to go to Muktinath. I strongly recommend you all manage to go there, if not physically, at least mentally. That's just what at one time when there was no tourism, that's what paradise must look like. Because it's I don't know geography much, and I had never been to that particular valley. But when you look from Nepal, the mountain Himalayan range is always to the north. But when you go to Muktinath, it's like a deserty type of a high altitude desert, and where you can actually go without any high altitude clothes. There is no snow up to the range of Muktinath in this season. And from there you see everywhere 360 degrees and all really tall Himalayas in both sides. So that's like you look to the south and there's also a range of Himalayas. I didn't know how we were able to go through the gorge, and we didn't even realize that we were taken to the valley. And I looked to the south and there is the Dhavalagiri, one of the tallest mountains. I look to the north and there is a Nilagiri, another tall mountain. They are like 24,000 feet tall mountains. I'm looking just like I'm looking this wall in front of me. It's just like directly exposed to. We were like thrilled like the beginning and taking pictures, and our driver was telling, don't get excited, I'll take you guys to the real nice place. And then actually when we were there, then we realized what he was talking about. So I just wanted to share that with you. And you know, these places, why I need to tell you is there is two types of things happening. One is our everyday life, where there is this strong need to just go to a different place to feel amazed, to see beautiful scenes, like you know, people go to Kashmir, people go to Switzerland, and then and people spend a lot of money. You guys also save a bunch of money to go to wherever you like, and it's how we are supposed to enjoy. They tell us how we are supposed to enjoy, and we follow the league. Then we enjoy accordingly. So what is happening is, in my grandmother's generation, up till that time, it used to take one whole month to go to Muktinath. So I know my grandmother walked there barefoot, and I also remember I was just 8 or 9 years old, and actually it was a caravan, and a bunch of people from different villages gathered, 30, 35, 40 people, and they did villagers came to do a farewell. You know what? Because those days, almost half the people wouldn't come back. Because this is the time when they didn't even have plastic things. This is the time when they didn't have any protection from these all times rainy places, and they didn't have any commute, like means vehicles for transportation. They would have to walk. And when our driver showed at one place, we were able to see the old route where people used to walk through. And I look up there, and I thought of my grandmother, and my feet numbed, and they gave up, because I would not be able to walk through that. And I'm a climber myself. I just go to, to some extent. I hike a lot, and I do some climbing too. I wouldn't be able to go through that. So they had dug these cliffs, and then they're like barely crawling through. They were going, and then and it is cold, and people would, when they do all these pilgrimages, and they would feel like, okay, there is nothing left for them, and they would take renunciation, and so there is no guarantee that they would actually come back. And when my grandmother came back, the villagers came to get her blessing, and they all touched her, and she gave her. So it was like a energy transference for the people who could not go there. Now I take a bus, and we had our own vehicle, and you go in one day, come back in another day. It's that simple now. The point is, I will come back to chapter 12. The point is, what is missing though is 90% of the people are busy in taking the selfies. There are these more than 50 hotels erected in the past 10 years, and the hotels are like Mona Lisa Hotel, Michelangelo Hotel, all these English names. There is no problem with that, but just to let you know how much of cultural invasion is happening and deterioration. And when you have all the trade things happening, a lot of tourism, and then there is this, there are these all kinds of things that you do not want to talk about. And it's not just the story of Muktinath. Okay, Muktinath is like a 13,000 feet altitude, one of the holiest of the places for Hindus. By the way, just 3 days before we were there, Narendra Modi had made his trip to Muktinath, and they had made a special helipad for him. And there was already one helipad, so the Nepalese government guys could also go. So it's like people, and in terms of the people who go there, when at least the time I was there, I would say maybe 90% of the people are coming from India, and 5% from Nepal, and another 5% from Europe and America. So that is the ratio in which people go there. So at least 1,000 people had darshan, and I can guarantee more than 950 people were from one lady collapsed by, she had never been to like a glacial water, and when she took a bath, and then she collapsed of cold, and she needed medical attention immediately after. So that is that. Why I brought this up? In some forms of spirituality, the land does not matter. In the kind of spirituality we all are exposed to, there is something sacred attached to the land, to the soil itself. And I'm sure you have felt that when you go back to India, or if you are not from India, even when you go back there, you don't just feel like, okay, wow, I'm in a new place, let me take some photos. But you might have felt that there is a strong connection there, a sort of gravitas, a sort of current that just binds you, elevates you, lifts you up. So that sense of spirituality is declining. And we have now all the Ministry of Tourism and the Board of Tourism, and the only thing being promoted is how to catch the people who are coming there, and not even like taking care of the sanctity of the place, like playing music or all kinds of things. No, so it's difficult to even sit and meditate now. I know we can't do everything, but it's all right. Because I just came from there, and you are my friends, and I have to share these things with you. What does it have to do with Bhakti Yoga? Bhakti Yoga is one of the most misunderstood yoga. I'm sorry. I mean, if you go and ask, you will find more people willing to say I'm compatible or comfortable with Bhakti Yoga than with Raja Yoga or Jnana Yoga. And there's a debate from like 2000 years about whether Jnana or wisdom is better, or Bhakti or devotion is better. And then everybody has said Bhakti Yoga is easy to approach, simple to go to. And since the beginning, like this is my 12th lecture in this series, and I have not been able to strongly advocate at least the form of bhakti that we are mostly accustomed to. And today is the day to spill the beans, like why have not I strongly endorsed the form of bhakti that goes around these days? And because I am, for one, not me, and you guys have to correct, because I'm not speaking as me. I'm speaking, or at least trying to speak, the Shastras, what is written there, because that is, after that, you guys are free to follow whatever you like, some aliens or monsters, and I am not there to change your faith, change your belief. Particularly in America, you are free. So if you like to worship one alien, and that's fine. But our job is, when we are telling people that my faith is grounded on Bhagavad Gita and my way of understanding bhakti is grounded on Bhakti Yoga, we should know, fortunately, Lord Krishna is so compassionate that he gave like so many long stanzas in other chapters. For Bhakti Yoga, only 22, okay? We can literally, or how many verses are there? 20, not even 22, excuse me. So we can actually go with every single word here to dig out what bhakti meant. And in the previous section, Lord Krishna has already said, Bhaktosi me sakha cheti rahasyam etaduttamam. So the first time, the most bona fide bhakta of Lord Krishna is Arjuna. So before I even go and start digging the text and try to understand what type of bhakti we are supposed to do, following what the Bhagavad Gita itself tells us to do, or whether or not we actually follow the line of bhakti. If I'm claiming I love bhakti, I do bhakti all the time, then Krishna has not certified Thaneshwar is my best bhakta. Unfortunately, I don't like that, but I mean, that is a fact. Only Arjuna is certified by Krishna himself in the Bhagavad Gita itself that you are my bhakta. And it has come in number of occasions. So number one, then we need to know, why would Arjuna be certified as bhakta of Krishna? So I'm sure that he has the particular qualities that Krishna is expecting to have as a real bhakta. And what does Arjuna do? So, I mean, like he wakes up and, like Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, all does that, or, goes to bed and just thinks about Krishna. Or I guess he thinks more about Subhadra, Krishna's sister, actually. He's a little clingy on those matters. Arjuna, he had Krishna's sister, but he is not saying that. Krishna is saying, you are my bhakta. Another thing would be, the big thing in the Bhagavad Gita is Arjuna is convinced that his role is to actually pick up Gandiva and fight. And with this conviction, we know that you could be a bhakta like Arjuna, because he is a role model. I'm first of all telling that because in the Bhagavad Gita, there is only one person addressed as bhakta by Krishna himself. Because if we believe in the word of Krishna, first of all, who is a bhakta? Arjuna is the bhakta. Therefore, if we want to be a bhakta, then we have to emulate. You have to copy the life of Arjuna. So to me, whatever Arjuna does at the end, does as a bhakta. And then we would go to see the distinction of, he is going to analyze very clearly. One, ye satata yukta paripasate yecha aksharam avyaktam tesam ke yoga vittama. Arjuna's question is very plain and simple. One type of people devote their life to the form, image, to find God divine in form, in the body. Others contemplate upon God, akshara abhyakta, unmanifest and undecaying, changeless, motionless. That is Parabrahma, Nirguna, basically. So the very first verse is a debate between the formless and the formed, Saguna and Nirguna. That is the question. And what is Sri Bhagavan Vacha, what is Krishna is saying? Maya Veshyamano ye mam nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya parayopetaste me yukta tamamatah. The first thing is he's talking about those who are avishta in me. Avishta is like who have entered into me, who are possessed by me, or who have let their ego go away and transplanted by the ego of Krishna, whose body has been the vessel to Lord Krishna and who act accordingly. Maya Veshyamana. Those whose mind have entered into me. You have the body, but the mind has entered into me. So this brings a big issue of, sometimes I talk about what am I supposed to do and why God is not doing anything. Sometimes when I'm in crisis, I call Mahendra Bhai, help me. What does that mean? Okay, this is him helping. Our attitude is, okay, this is Nagbhushanji helping. Where we are missing is, if you are a devotional person, most likely you are going to go to temple or not, to your own meditation place and call Lord Krishna, please come and help me. I'm in crisis. And tomorrow, fortunately, Madhukar was around and he helps you on that crisis, and you just thank Madhukar. You forget to thank Lord Krishna because you think that Lord Krishna has not come to help you. How is God supposed to come and help you? Just like a shower from like a rooftop, do some kind of manifest, like for Prahlad, just to come to the body. We all are instruments to both. We humans are the instrument for the divine and instrument for the demonic. Chapter 16, 17, and even 18 will make that very clear. If we are possessed by good, possessed by virtue, that time the God walks through us and makes us do things that are divine. That is why do I do certain things? Because I know, I'm not even kidding, I know that I'm God in this body. And why do I have to do these things? Because hello, God is not in the body, and this is the only way God can manifest in the body, my body, your body, and all our body. All these bodies are assumed by the same divine, and therefore our relationship in the world, that is the most critical thing. How am I supposed to relate to you as brothers and sisters? How am I supposed to relate to my wife and my parents? It's a divine relationship because everybody is the divine manifestation in the world. If you have that divine entered into you, you are not going to see others as non-divine because that gaze, that perception doesn't even come to you. That is bhakti. Okay? Now, Keme yukta tamamata, because they have been enjoying, they have been one yukta, they have been one with me. Yoga, yujir yoga. So they have been united with me. So everything we do becomes an expression of the divine. And then slowly, the more you align your tendencies with the divine tendency, your actions as divine actions, they start correcting themselves. Because now we are guided by our ego. The more we let go of my individual ego and allow ourselves to be the vessel for something higher, then this becomes like an instrument. And constantly, I know I was going to come here and have this lecture, and I was having this still jet lag time, and my wife calls, and she's still working, and did you get some rest? And I wish I did, but you know what I was doing? All my dream, I was not discussing this book. I was discussing Spandakarika, that I remember the whole lecture I was delivering in my dream. So that's all me. I felt good about that when I woke up, that all I want to do in my life is just talk about these Shastras. And that is because that's something I have picked up as my responsibility. Not that I am claiming my authority, not that there are not other gurus who know about it, but that it is needed, it is declining, and people are not going back to the original source, but are carried away to any information that goes around and whatever you can buy in the market. And I am not contradicting anybody. I'm just trying to see and share with you what is already there. Now the second part, it goes, Yetu. Now the second is like those devoted to the nirguna form. Yetu aksharam anirdesyam avyaktam paryupasate. Those who surrender to or who worship the akshara, indestructible, the formless, avyakta, the unmanifest, that which cannot be described in any word, anirdesya, which cannot be designated, sarvatragam, that which is everywhere, achintya, that cannot be thought about, because beyond our concepts, we cannot even idealize, we cannot even fantasize, conceptualize beyond our imagination, because mind has its own limits. It's beyond our mind. Kutastham, achalam, motionless, dhruvam, fixed. How do they do that? Sanyam mendriya gramam sarvatra samabuddhayaha te prapnuvanti mameva sarvabhuta hite rataha. Those who control their senses and then see everywhere as equal. People are just simply assigning these books as creating discrepancy in society. That is, we are responsible for that too, social injustice. And nowadays, everybody is saying, because these books are the root cause for social injustice. You know what is the root cause for social injustice? People not really reading these books, not really trying to understand the heart of these books. And yes, there are crooked people in every strata of society, and they are taking advantage of. And these spiritual teachings are exploited in the, like in America also, in Nepal also. I saw that, you know, in India, everywhere is happening. Is people who are devotional, you know, they believe, they listen to you, and then they are the one who are most misguided, misused. Their faith is misplaced and abused by short-term political gains, and then is adding to social injustice. And eventually what will happen, people will be more and more frustrated. Like what is like a 10 years ago, the dedicated mass of white evangelical group population was 23% in America. Now that is 14% in America. Oh my gosh, every year they are declining with 1%. Why? I mean, they have such a big control politically. But everybody knows that they are just hollow, and a lot of politics goes around, and there is not a real concrete thing being delivered. And then that is how people are running away. But if we do not want that to happen from these cultures, we have to preserve the heart. And if we just only dress up, patch up outside, and lose that soul and heart of these teachings, sarvatra samabuddhaya, you know, everywhere they see with the gaze of equality, equanimity, okay? Te prapnuvanti mameva. So now Krishna says, you know what? If you surrender to or you follow me in the form, it may be easier. He's not saying one is good, another is bad. It's only a matter of ease. So he's not saying you have to do this. He's saying both are equal. But it might be easy for you to follow me in a form. Klesha adhikataras tesam abhyakta sakta chetasam abhyakta hi gatir dukkham dehavadhiravapyate. Because we have dehavadhi. You are in the body. And therefore, it is easy for you to relate to the divine in the body, rather than not relate in the body and only think of as disembodied entity, formless entity. Now, he's gone back to a real bhakti, because there are coming 6 verses. I'm going to read each of them, because this is where bhakti yoga is being defined. For the first time, you say you want to do bhakti, read these coming, the 6 verses, that is what. ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्पराः अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषाम् अहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्यु संसार सागरात्. Those who sannyasya, who install, who posit, not like renounce only, to put together, to hold together, sannyasa. Like a NASA is like what? You install some of the ideas there. Everything, sarvani karmani mayi sanyasya, you attribute all your activities to Lord Krishna, just the one I started in the beginning, that if you feel the presence of God, your bodily presence becomes so insignificant that your activities become divine activities. You become an instrument for the divine. Karmani sanyasya does not mean that you give up every single thing you have to do and then just start, chanting my name. Let me give you easy example. I was talking to one guy, a friend of mine actually from Boston, over the phone 2 days ago. He was separated from his family. You know, these people coming, getting this lottery green card, and sometimes they forget to mention the wife's name, or when they apply, they are not married, and by the time they get it approved, they are married, they also have children, and then they cannot bring them here. So it took him 8 years to actually get his family here. And I said, like, why did you stay and for such a long time and alone? And say, every day I was working 16 hours a day because I loved my family so much. I'm giving you this example of love. So you work all the time. Why are you not around your babies, hugging them, kissing them, feeding them and decorating them all the time? Okay, that's not really good way to love, because you have to provide them. So that is also love. That is a better way to love. Just running around, being in a company is needed, but there's more to it in loving. The same way, what is about God too? The only way, if you believe in God, if you believe in Lord Krishna, the only way God can make difference in the world to correct environmental crisis, to check corruption, to have social justice, the only way God can act is God can act through you. If you let God to act through your body and mind, then God will act. If you think I don't have to do, I already go to temple and God will do it, how is God going to do? Because you are the manifest form of God. You are God in the body. That is how God has to work. So this is one. Mai Sharmanikana. So now, Mai Aveshita Chetasam, this is a repetition again. Because in before we read Maya Veshya Manaha, we have read. Now again, Maya Veshita Chetasam, those whose mind have entered into me. That is what the bhakti looks like. Mayyeva mana adapsva, maibuddhim niveshaya, nivashishyasi mayyeva, ata urdham nasamsaya. Now that is where that hold your mind and repeatedly, your mind, maibuddhim, your intellect has to enter into me. And then nivashishyasi mayyeva, you will actually enter and dwell in me. There is no question, there is no doubt after that. Because what happens is we are separated by this flimsy construction of ego. Flimsy construction of ego, why I'm saying that is, suppose you have a family, a new person, new member comes to your family, new baby comes to your family, that is also your family. The concept of your family can expand. When some members do not survive anymore, the concept of family is there, gets small. Body is like that. One of my teachers, two of my teachers actually lived quite a while with paralysis. They were both paralyzed below the navel. The lower part of their body could not move. So they do not have the sense of their body below the navel, all the lower parts of the body. So our sense of our body can be changed, altered, limited. So our sense of me, ego, also is flexible. Sometimes when I feel you as myself and someone hurts you, I also get hurt. And that is when I am no longer connected to you that way, then when someone hurts you, I may not feel hurt. So our sense of me is also flexible. So the territory is flimsy. It is elastic. You can change that. So Mahatma, what is the sense of Mahatma? What is the meaning of Mahatma? Mahan Atma Yasya Sa Mahatma. One whose Atma, the self soul, is big. What do you mean by big? Instead of locating your ego into this body alone only, when you are able to locate your ego to a whole society, you are Mahatma. Because now if anybody in the community is hurt, he's also hurt. He can feel that way. And this is like, great siddhas have actually experimented on this extension of your subjectivity, extension of your ego, extension of the self. That is yoga. Be able to feel what others, and then how would you actually be able to hurt others? If you are able to extend your ego beyond your own body, beyond your own personal interest, personal egos, ideas. So yeah, you see. Now, what if we cannot practice that form of yoga? It seems a little difficult for us. Ata chittam samadhatum na shaknosi sthiram abhyasa yoge na tato mamichhaptum dhananjaya. Now, if you cannot fix my mind in that way, to actually allow the divine to manifest in your body, that is the first form of, highest form of yoga. And you be the instrument for his actions. If you cannot do that, then the second type of yoga. This is within Bhakti Yoga, okay? Because this whole chapter is Bhakti Yoga. So the first highest form of Bhakti Yoga is to be possessed, to embody the divine and act accordingly. Like whenever you act, you allow the God to act through you. That is the highest. What if I cannot do that? That's like, it would be nice, but I can't do that. I can't handle that. Then Abhyasa Yoga. What is Abhyasa Yoga? Tatra sthitau yatno abhyasa. You have to go to Patanjali, the Yoga Sutra. Abhyasa is defined as our effort to settle, to situate our mind in that state. So if you cannot dwell in that mind of the divine, you make your constant effort. When you come out of the divine feeling, like I'm acting this as my divine service, you come out of that, you go back. Sthita yatana. Make that effort. And that is also yoga. What happens if I cannot even make an effort to have the divine in me? Abhyase pesamarthosi mat karma paramo bhava. If you cannot even have the divinity enter into you, be the expression of the divine, mat karma paramo bhava. Act on behalf of me. Mat karma paramo does not mean that just, put some flowers for me. Some people might. This is where we get cultural corruption. This is what we need to, that is where really I feel like we need to discuss more. What is mat karma paramo bhava? There is the divine task. What is the divine task? The divine task yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyam. That is the divine task. And you can just go to Kashi and then wait for Kali Yug's end and then Krishna coming back. That is like some of these apocalyptic predictions like that. That is really not what Krishna is ever saying. Because what is he saying then? Mat karma paramo bhava. If maintaining dharma is the karma, the act of Lord Krishna, because what is his job? Yadi hayam navartayam jatu karmanya tamrita mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvasa utsidey rime loka napuriyam karma chedaham sankarsya kartasyam upamyam nima praja. What is Krishna is saying? If I do not maintain dharma, then the whole world will go haywire. People will stop following the law, following dharma. What is dharma? Ahimsa paramo dharma, right? Ashtadasha Puraneshu Vyasasya Vachana Dvayam Paropakara Punyaya Papaya Parapidanam. What is dharma? Paropakara is dharma. Means you support, you help. Compassion is dharma. Non-violence is dharma. So these are the virtues that decline in society. You see, in America too, in India too, in Nepal too, everywhere. What is declining? Kindness is declining. You know what? I go and talk to people. These poor villagers. I go to Nepal and then these poor villagers. Let me tell you one short example and I'll move to the text. 3 years ago, it was like that earthquake time, and I went to Nepal and we went to different villages, and then, oh my gosh, I'm like little bit of whatever support you guys had given, trying to go and distribute that support. And these really hurt people, really poor people, they do not want anything. No, 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 no. It is okay. I just want you to come to our house and just have a meal. I feel, oh my God. Now instead I'm depleting their resources. And we are going with family. And like they are serving food and they are so happy. And then the people who already have, and the town dwellers, they are already ambushing us in so many different corners. Oh, you are coming from America. I'm sure you have money. I'm sure, like, help. Look at our group. Look at this happening. And they are getting all the international support. They are getting all the national support. And then I was walking through, and one time, I don't know these villagers. With my children, and we all walking by, and then there's one guy up in the mango tree, and he was just picking a bunch of mangoes, and we all were really hungry because they are not all hotels and restaurants everywhere you go. We are really hungry, and I'm kind of guy who doesn't like to just eat anywhere. I was having a hard time, but the ripe mango, okay, amazing. So I asked the guy if we could have some mangoes, and he picked us like one whole sack full of, like a huge bag full of maybe 50 mangoes. And then when he came down and gave it to us, and then I asked him, how much is it for? He looked at me and very upset. What are you talking about? And I insisted that I want to pay because I don't want to eat, it's like, and he was very unhappy, very annoyed. These villages, they don't hide their emotions. He was very annoyed. You are my Atithi Devta. You are the divine manifest in the form of like some hungry being. And I had these mangoes. This is what I could offer to you. And why do you do such injustice? Like, I'm getting this virtue, and by paying me, you are trying to stop my opportunity to go to heaven, to do something good. Finally, I get this opportunity to do something good, and then you try to stop me from this. Why are you doing that to me? This villager looking at my eyes, I still remember that. Very dear. And he could have easily asked for 1,000 rupees. I would be so happy on top. I didn't insist anymore. I thanked him. I moved. And I realized I'm really stupid American because my cultural appropriation has been to ask him the price for life. Because in that village, if I hadn't gotten food for another 8 hours or so, maybe I wouldn't be able to walk around, right? So there is no price to these things. So this is like, while the form of seva is sapped in the mind of these people. What is happening now? People have a lot of money. As somebody gave me the stat of modern day Nepal, that about 5 million people from Nepal have migrated abroad, maybe to the Middle East or Korea or Indonesia, I don't know. But that is, out of 30 million, that is what? Like, one sixth of the total population, and everybody is sending money, remittance. A lot of money, tremendously huge amount of money. But everybody is turned poor now. Poor is richness, and poverty is not about your house or the luxuries you can have. It is about your heart. How big is your heart? How small? Because that is where a Mahatma has a big heart. That's what Mahatma is like, open up to offer. Mat karma, that is madartham api karmani kurvan siddhimo vapsasi. You have to act on my behalf, be the agent of God. What? How would you be the agent of God? Go and convert people in my name. That is not what God is saying, okay? Okay? Because be kind to other people. That is what God is saying. Because dharma is, what is mat karma? What is the actions that Lord Krishna must perform? to maintain dharma. That is the only job he has to do, to balance dharma. And if you help balance dharma, you are acting on Lord Krishna's behalf. You are his ambassador, actually. If you promote non-violence, if you promote truth in the society, justice in the society, freedom in the society, all these are good virtues for people. What if you find that very difficult? I can't really act on God's behalf. It's so difficult to think like that. Sarva karma phala tyagam tatah kuryatatmavan. He's not saying just give up all your actions. He's saying do whatever you do, but do not cling on to the results, its fruits, the fruits of your action. So we find, like, where are we now? We cannot even, this is the last type of yoga he's going to say, okay? He said, if you cannot do this, do that. If you cannot do that, do this. Ultimately, if you cannot do anything, give up your obsession with result. Just act for heaven's sake. Our obsession with result is what stops us from doing a quality job. It's like anxiety, you sing. Like if you are thinking about whether the audience is liking the way you are singing, whether they are clapping or not, your focus is divided. You are not acting. And your action is already going to be a lower quality action. If you are a good performer, you are one with your action. Even runner, the people who win the Olympics running, they are not the people, am I ahead or not? Like looking behind. If you start looking, you are already lost. Other people are running and very close. So the moment you think, are you winning or not, you lose. Ask anybody who has won the Olympics. In the gymnastics, like this, all these people doing all those things. If they start worrying about, am I going to win this medal or not this time? That very moment, they cannot perform. Highly skilled performance requires a total attention to action itself, not to think about what the consequences are going to be, what the result is going to be. Now he's going to give, I'll stop soon. Sri Jnanam Abhyasat Jnanat Dhyanam Vishishyate Dhyanat Karma Phala Tyagat Chantiranantaram. First of all, he talks about jnana, wisdom. It's better to have wisdom than just to have the abhyasa, sthitaviyatna, your effort. But what is more particular is dhyana, your focus on certain things, jnana dhyanam vishishyate. What is more special, particular, vishishta? Dhyanat karma phala tyaga. To be able to relinquish, renounce the results of your action. Because this obsession to result is not going to take us anywhere. So that will ultimately give us peace. And you believe this is what Bhakti Yoga is, okay? Number one, you need to keep in mind that the whole chapter is only about Bhakti Yoga. Now the qualities of how to perform Bhakti. Because Lord Krishna has to teach us how to do Bhakti, right? Now he's going to teach us how you can do Bhakti to Lord Krishna. Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. One who has no enmity towards anybody. Okay, that's not what you expected from a bhakti, right? But this is what in the book. Adveshta Sarvabhutanam Maitraha Karuna Evacha. Not only that he has this friendship, he has also compassion. There are two types. A mitra, one altruistic. Altruistic persons are, if you are hurt, also the person, your friend, is hurt. I don't know if it has ever happened to you. Most of you are parents, so when your kids like bump into something or cut something, and then you must have felt that pain in your body. Not just, oh my gosh, are you hurt? No, not just that. You feel that in yourself. That is maitra. That is the depth of connection. My mitra is we are friend, not just that. What does friendship mean? A real friendship means such closeness where the pleasure or the pain in another body reflects in yourself. That is when you become a mitra. And other is karuna. Suppose you are not mitra to someone, then you at least are kind to the person because he's suffering. Sometimes that doesn't hurt you as your own pain, but you can see another person bleeding and you can be nice to him. The other person thirsty, other person hungry. That is what bhakti, okay? These are the qualities of doing bhakti yoga. Nirmamo, nirahankara, who does not say this is mine, this is mine, this is for me, or who does not have the ego to control him. Sama dukkha sukha, one who is equal in pain and pleasure. Kshami, and who can forgive. You have to be forgiving, you have to be equal in pain and pleasure, you have to be able to be compassionate to the people who are not as fortunate as you are. You know, why I can't hear particular type of conversation, because I am just like anybody else who enjoys the dirt, you know, like the sewer, the pigs who love the dirt and to play in the mud. And if you are trying to be a clean pig, you have to not go this intoxicating, you know, that's a pig business is very intoxicating. It wants you to go to the dirt. So when I hear, okay, I mean, these poor should be dead, you know, they're like one person, one leader just recently said, the poor people in America should be euthanized. Really, one elected leader in America said that the poor people should be euthanized. What is the heart that you can speak such things from? What is the basis? So how can, I mean, I'm not saying therefore you replete yourself and be empty and give up all your things, but that is a different story. But at least in the level of the heart, where do we start bhakti yoga? This is all about bhakti, because what we are doing in the name of bhakti is, if I have a particular dress, you know, if I put on my forehead particular thing, I have even kanchi or something, and then I can do some drumming, you know, which is lovely, and then chant Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Shiva Shiva, or I don't care which God, Jesus, Hare Jesus, Allahu Akbar, I don't care whichever. And then we call that, I'm so devoted to God. At least following the Bhagavad Gita, which is the book cited all the time for bhakti. And in the very chapter where bhakti is discussed, show me a line where it says that. But I'm reading every single word here to say what bhakti is. Santushtaha. You have to learn to be satisfied, because it's never going to be enough. Okay, I will maybe help those people when I have $2 million in the bank balance, and maybe $5 million in a stock investment, and maybe another. Santushtaha. Just because you are satisfied, your income does not just go decline and replete. Okay, educate to have some satisfaction. Satatam yogi yatatma drida nishchayaha. Drida nishchaya. I will explain other words, but you have to have your determination fixed. I have a friend who has given up smoking for more than 50 times in his life. And last time he called me about 6 months ago and said, Thaneshwarji, this time I have given it up for good. I'm like, thank you so much. You know what is lacking? There is no determination. There is desire. Just because there is desire doesn't mean that you can do it. You have to have that determination. Drida nishchaya. And then mayarpita mano buddhi. If you do that, then your mind and your intellect will be offered to Lord Krishna. And that is my bhakta, and I only love him. Oh my goodness. Same priya. If you are equal to every human being, if you are kind to everybody, and if you feel friendly to everybody, and then you have this determination, you are satisfied in what you have, and then I will love you, and then you will be my bhakta. When does he say, if you keep repeating my name, and then you will be my bhakta? Well, show me the line. Okay. Yasman no dvijate loko, lokan no dvijate chayaha, harsha marsha bhayadvegair, mukto yaha sachame priya, anapeksha suchirdaksha, udasi no gatavyatha, sarvaranga parityagi, yo madbhakta same priya, yo narishyati na dveshti, na sochati na kankshati, shubhashubha parityagi, bhaktiman yaha same priya. You know who I love the most and who are my bhaktas. Yasman na udvijate loka. If he goes around to people and the people do not get crazy about him, like he does not disrupt the harmony. Na udvijate loka. Lokan na udvijate chaya. You go to anybody, any masses, and the mass does not like to hurt you. And then I only love that person. Harsha Harsha Bhayadvegar Mukta, who is free from these excitements of getting Harsha and Amarsha. Like when you get something, get excited. When you lose something, get crazy about it. You have to free yourself from that. And only I love that person. Sachame Priya. He is my devotee and I love him. Who can go walk into any group of people and people love him. And he also loves them. And that is the person I am going to like. Okay? Anapekshaha, who does not expect, Shuchi, pure, Daksha, skilled, Udasina. No, not too much clinging, you know, like a little bit of liberated in the sense who doesn't have too much of resistance to getting things. Gatavyatha, who has freed himself from all these cravings. Oh my gosh, I need this, I need this, I need this. Gatavyatha. Sarvaramba parityagi. Oh no, I wish this thing to achieve. I want that thing to achieve. And all these plans to get all 100 million things to done. Bhakti man. That is when somebody will have bhakti. Vajachintayam. You know, the root comes from to think, to contemplate upon. Sa me priya. I love him. Samha satraucha mitrecha. Tatha manapamanayoho shitoshna sukha dukkhesu samaha sangha vivarjita. One who is equal to sama, the enemies. If we are this group of people, we have to hate those type of people, right? That is the religious teaching these days. If you are following one religion number A, then your moral obligation is to hate the people following religion number B. Samah satraucha mitrecha. If you have the feeling of their enemies, you have to have in your heart the sense of equanimity. How will you even fight then? Because our whole notion is so messed up that Arjuna is still a warrior, okay? At the end of the game, he picks up the arrows and bow. He does not hate Bhishma Pitamaha when he shoots him. Many people think that if you have to fight at the end of the game, sometimes you may have a situation where you have to pick up the weapon. How can you pick up the weapon? No, this is so wrong. Hatred is not the way of a warrior. A warrior does not fight because he has hatred in his heart. He has obligation in his heart to protect the people who cannot protect themselves. That is the difference between a terrorist and a warrior. You know, a warrior fights for justice. A terrorist fights to express his hatred. It doesn't matter what path you follow to, where it is coming from. The venom, the reaction, where is it coming from? That defines whether you are acting on behalf of God or against God. Some people honor me, others don't. Be equal to that. Get over it. Shitoshna sukha dukha. Whatever shitoshna. It's just like, I can't take it a little bit. Sukha dukha, I can't take it. No, get over it. Samasanga vivarjita. Free from attachment and be able to be equal in these. Something we want sometimes doesn't happen. Life is never about happening things that you want. Life is about not happening things that you want. 90% of the time, things do not happen the way you would have liked. Can you maintain yourself? Can you maintain your calm when things don't just go the way you like? That is where you evolve. Things are going good. How much things can go good? You know, I could get promoted to full professor only one time in my life. That's it. You can't be repeatedly promoted to that position. Otherwise, that would be meaningless. So, but then what do you do other days? The days you are not getting promoted. Get over it. Tulya ninda stutir mauni. You know, in teaching these days, teachers don't evaluate that much. We just kind of sort of, you know, look into it, get ABCD. Students evaluate us. Students say he's a good teacher, bad teacher. What do you do if you are a real teacher? Tulya ninda stuti. It's sometimes some people listening to me may like it, others not like it. That's not my concern. That should not be my concern. When I am totally 100% giving for the job, then I would free myself from, am I getting like a good review from these students or not? Because they are speaking from their perspective. Where am I in this? Santushtaha, Aniketa, just not obsessed with this is my place and things like that. Sthiramati, basically, ultimately, whose mind is settled, situated. That is my bhakta, and I only love him. This is it. I have read every single word. Yetu dharmyamritamidam yatottam paryupasate shraddhadhana mat parama bhaktaste tiva me priya. These words who follow very closely and with respect, they are my devotees. I love them very much. And I read all 20 verses in this. And please tell me right now, whatever you had thought about Bhakti Yoga, and this is the book, this is the original source, and show it to me. Okay, I'm not making up. So this is like, let me sum up in 1 minute why I have started this as a side project. Besides, you know, we all have jobs, and just like you do, and busy schedule is, we do the best we can. And I often feel like a moral compulsion that the amount of energies my teachers put on me, the amount of time they gave to cultivate me, to educate me, and just having one job and just going to teach, that is maybe I feel like not enough, because what they expected from me was that I would do something for this whole philosophy, for this whole culture, and that I'm guided by that fire in me, and I thank you all for being part of this yajna. This is really yajna, jnana yajna for me, and I appreciate everybody. And we can have all the questions if you like. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I think you have a question, right, Madhavan? No? Okay, good, yeah.
I really enjoyed it very much. First time I come to understand, but it's very different from what people say, but you're very good. I'm very happy that I came here for the first time, and what you said is the one part I like.
Thank you so much, Professor Madhavan.
And it sounded very, very familiar to me.
But I am not saying anything that is not in the book, and I know. Please, Nagabhushanaji, please, you need to vouch for me.
Very good.
Yeah.
So,
You
I
know?
really learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I know what bhakti is. To serve others.
Right,
In
yeah.
simple words, the only thing is there are few things that you can do. They always guided by the sentence.
Yeah.
That is, what you do is for others, for your own satisfaction, not to satisfy anybody else.
Yeah.
You do this for us. You do something to fulfill your own. And I won't use the word desire. Maybe the desire to begin with, but it will be something that you want to
Yeah.
serve.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
And if you do that,
Yeah.
you don't worry about what others say or what others do.
Yeah.
It's absolutely inconsequential.
Yeah.
And you do the best you can all the time.
Right, yeah.
And don't expect everything is going to go in the right direction.
Yeah.
You don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Once
Right.
you have done it, you have done your duty. Well, what happens after that is left to others to see.
Yeah.
And that's a way one has to do that. That is what I have been practicing all these 40 years.
Thank you.
Otherwise, I won't be doing what other things that I'm doing now. And
Yeah.
they have given me
Yeah.
a lot of help. But the most important thing is also one thing that very difficult for us to practice most people. What I found in my life is, in my life, I just follow, I can be a good bhakta. But at the same time, the desires I have for my children and grandchildren, they're really clouds. And that work for you, for me is okay, my wife is okay, but for the desires we have for others, particularly in the society, and that is, I don't know how to handle that. Then if you do that, are we moving away from the concept of bhakti as profound as it is? So are you, I mean, for a human, for ordinary people like us, that becomes a way of life. Now, if you really want to extricate yourself from that, then you have to be in a situation where you are not worried about anything.
Yeah.
Rather, you're worried about the entire humanity, whatever you can do.
Yeah.
And that is very difficult. But while we can fulfill all the things Krishna said in that section for us individually, but as a human being, that we are not able to do the same thing. We are not able to practice the same way in relation to people who are very close to us.
Yeah.
That's what the problem.
I think what he's talking about is third shloka, if I'm right, welfare of all beings.
Yeah. How to include that in our practice.
Like something for my son, which is worth maybe $500 or $1,000. I would think, yeah, I'm doing it for my son and I do have the money, and if I have the money and the resources, then I'm not so much worried and I'm really happy to spend that. I'm just giving a very small example. But if I have to like extend the same thing with the same affection, without even thinking, if that child was not my own biological child. I'm not talking whether that person is underprivileged or privileged or whatever. But then comes the thought in my mind that I'm doing charity, that I'm actually doing something nice.
Yeah.
It doesn't come automatically that people are talking about social responsibility, not about. So
that is where Krishna says.
No, I had,
the limitations I think Sir says is about you as a wife or as a mother or a husband or a grandfather, as a householder, you're not a sannyasi.
Yeah.
And your limitations as in the responsibilities you have, the duties that you have, you're accountable. Either money or decisions or whatever. So I think where comes for a householder, the expansion of the heart, if you have the desire, having the accountability, like the detached attachment and the attached detachment. How do you practice that? Because that's what my father used to talk about. Like, how do you have attachment with detachment? And how do you have the detachment with attachment?
No, the way let me give you one example of one conversation I had with one Mahatma Sadhu, who has like 400 students in his school. And he just told me that I am only focused on my children, and he's educating other children. And I didn't pretend to say something what I believe in my heart, that Mahatma Ji, I am taking care of 2 of God's children, and you are taking care of 400 of God's children. Nobody is really mine in the sense that they have their own karmic flow and they are going to unfold in their own way. And so the first attitude is, yes, if you are a householder, you give birth, then you are biologically connected to, you know what, everybody has parents. Just like your children have parents, everybody has parents. They all have the similar biologically given moral responsibility to take care of their children, to work hard to provide for their children, not to waste their time in going to some bar and playing some gambling and blowing, not working, you know. So just like you work hard, they also need to work. So I'm not saying you should punish them, but what I mean is you have no reason to feel guilty when you are providing for who your children are. But if you just limit within that, you stop progressing. Your attitude, first of all, needs to be different from, these are my children and I have to look for, these are God's children. God has been very nice to you to give responsibility of those 2, 4, whatever number of children you have. It's up to you. If something wrong happens to them and you fail in that process, God is testing you, and then you are going to fail. Therefore, your real test now as a householder is that responsibility. You cannot say, I'm being only selfish. You are biologically, even animals, you know, even birds have that biological instinct to protect you. I mean, you know, you must have seen these in shared in Facebook. Like one guy sent that to me. There is one gazelle, like a baby, crosses a river, and then there was this tiger just about to snatch this gazelle baby, and then the mother sees that the guy is filming from nowadays, even with the cell phone, you know, and then the mother just dashes, comes directly in the middle. She doesn't try to fight. She's not going there to fight anything. She just swims, crosses that exactly in the middle, and the tiger eats her, and the baby crosses the river. That is instinctual as mother, even among animals. So that is selfless. So the gazelle could have ran away, that, okay, I'm going to have to protect my life. Who cares the baby? You can make more babies anyway. That is not what the deer even thinks about, you know. So there is this maternal instinct to save the life of a child. That is also, you know, all the mammals, all the even birds have that similar instinct, you know. So there is nothing wrong in wanting to. Don't think that you wouldn't them, though. They are God's children bestowed on you. God is testing you. But that should be a way for you to do selfless action. You serve these souls, God's souls, selflessly. That should educate you that they are not always dependent, you know. They are at the age of prapte to shodashe varshe putram mitra vadacharet, so they get to a certain age. Just like your parents didn't have to take responsibility for everything, you do not have to save millions of dollars. If they are worthless loafers, even if you save tens of millions of dollars, they are going to blow that in a year and they will remain worthless loafers. If they are good-hearted, good-minded people, they will, even if you do not leave behind anything, they will manage their way, they will be successful, they will exceed, maybe do more than you have done. So therefore, our obsession with this is me, I have to save my children, my grandchildren, and that is where we make mistake. Yeah, there is certain responsibility as a mother or as a parent for a certain time, and then they start looking into they go to their life. You have to find, because now you graduated from God's school, class number 1, you raise your children. Now they are gone. Let them explore the world. Let them explore their karma. Now you can actually take care of other children. Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
One thing that really intrigues me is as we grow, we can still keep all the attributes of Bhakti Yoga. Yeah. Practice it as we do that. At the same time, we can still have attachment. But one part of that Bhakti Yoga, if you start following Bhakti Yoga, most of it, not all of it, most of it, then the attachment is being covered. The being there, already there. So attachment is going to be there for each one of us. Until such time, we are able to see ourselves from the attachment. The time we are going to see ourselves from the attachment depends upon and varies from one person to other person, depending upon the attitude of children, for family, for other people. So the detachment is something that we have to really develop. But the detachment is there if you are going to be practicing Bhakti Yoga as proponent in that. Detachment only is there. The question will be how do we develop that so that the attachment that we have from the beginning, that how we are going to be slowly getting to develop that attachment. And such that we are going to have attachment. Very rarely they are going to have attachment.
The other way is the other way.
Most of us can have attachment in many respects. Many respects we can have.
The way as Lord Krishna was saying is when you expand, like you are attached to your own little self, your own little family, but when you develop the attachment, go to the neighbors, go to your same attachment, intensity same, equality, then that increase in attachment ultimately leads to, in a way, detachment, like you become bigger, expansion.
Rather than liberating from all kinds of connections, be connected to everybody. You love me, Madhavan. What are you talking about? You have helped me so many times. You see, just like
That's
you
what
have
Dr.
helped
Bhagwan
yourself.
does, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
That's what he says.
So
that's,
this
that's
is
one
like
way.
even means of loving other people, and then the limit, the cocoon we trap ourselves to doesn't be the cocoon anymore. So
Yeah, we can have a continued discussion over the
okay. Thank you so much. So we can have more conversations there.